I'm Will.
And I'm Steven.
And this is the Post P Chronicles.
So, Will, who do we got today?
Man, today we have a good friend of mine, my homie, my friend, my old Celly. Yes, old Celly. You know, y'all didn't know I was in prison. I don't think they knew. But Samuel, what's up, bro? Episode 1. Sam, man, what's up, bro?
What's going on, man? You know, just hanging out, ready to tell my story or
all right,
let it be known.
Let it be known then, man. So first and foremost, man, where are you from? Tell us your story. Where you from?
Oh, yeah, man. You know, originally, you know, I grew up like all over San Diego, but like the good parts, you know, like
what's the good parts?
I say Scripps Ranch.
Scripps Ranch.
Damn, I lived in Rancho Bernardo for a little bit.
Man,
you know what I mean? Yeah,
okay.
It's like, you know, up there.
Goals right there.
Man, what?
Right?
Goals, that's where you want to live.
Hey, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Scripps Ranch. So how was it growing up in Scripps Ranch and Rancho? Like on paper, it sounds like it was a pretty good life, but
yeah, it was boring, man. For me, at least, you know, it wasn't really the what I was looking for. Like as a kid growing up, you know, I didn't have too many people that I felt like I vibed with like that. You know what I mean? It was more so I was kind of like the outcast a little bit. So
what made you the outcast?
I don't want to race. I say, yeah, my race. You feel me? Probably I was like the one of the only black kids. You know what I mean? In school, you know, they would try to be my friend, but also on an under like not like me. I mean, it's middle school. You know what I mean? Right. So, you know, and every time that you know the schools used to get bussed in from the southeast. You know what I mean? To come to our school. So all those people, like, you know, they were like black and like Mexican, and I would go gravitate towards them, you know what I mean? And or they would gravitate towards me. It would just be like an
acceptance. Right.
And I felt like, you know what I mean? I vibe with these people like way more, and they're not trying to fight me over, you know, whatever, like little stuff. Like I felt like I was kind of getting picked on, you know what I mean? And I would stand up for myself, and
that was like for majority of your childhood. So we talking about race, so you're half black, half white, right?
Right.
And I don't know if y'all knew that.
My mama white.
So growing up like that, you know, in the household, you didn't feel left out, right? Your mom, your sister, your brothers, like you felt the love inside the house.
Yeah.
But when you was outside, it was like, where do I fit in?
Exactly. Like, you know, I got a small family anyway. It's really just my mom, my brother, and my sister who I've been living with, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was more so when I like went outside for that social aspect. You know what I mean? Everybody needs, you know, friends to make you feel like you fit in, or
Definitely.
you're not weird. You know what I mean? And I knew I wasn't weird. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was just like a matter of, you know, who.
So would you say if the kids being bussed into Southeast San Diego, you didn't find trouble, but trouble found you?
No.
Or you go seeking them?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that was just like my first taste of, you know, anybody other than white people. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't, you know, picking on me. So eventually, you know what I mean, I just gravitated towards like the lifestyle. You know what I mean? It looked cool. Like, you know, they was banging. Everybody, they was all like gangsters or whatever. Like, you know, or trying to be because we was young. You know what I mean? So, and you know, I could fight. So I like to fight, you know what I mean? I like to be able to prove what it was really with me was I like to be able to prove my loyalty to people. And the best way that I was doing that was like, I'll fight for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like some is going down, I got your back. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna rock with you. Whatever you're doing, you my friend, that camaraderie. So you know, that's what I was looking for in everybody that I really used to like mess with. You know what I mean? I'm a good friend, I feel like. You know what I mean? I'm somebody that you would want to have on your side.
So during this time, because we talked about your mom, we talked about, you know, your sister and your brother, but where's your dad during this time?
Oh, yeah, my pops, he was in L.A., you know what I mean? I would see him maybe like every other weekend. He'd come pick me up, whatever. You know, with my dad, he's a black man, but he's Guatemalan, so he kind of like a paisa, he's a paisa, he's a black paisa. So, and he's living in L.A., so really he wasn't really in my life to show me, you know what I mean, what it was to be a black man in America, kind of. You know what I mean? Like he was a Mexican in America or a Guatemalan.
Right.
You know,
Right.
he was a Guatemalan in America. You know, so he's trying to find his way, and he has his own culture that I'm not around him, so I wasn't learning that culture. You know, so I didn't have any real culture to gravitate towards or besides. You know what I mean? Black culture. You know, this is what I look like. I got an afro. I like braids. You know, all the stuff. So, yeah, he was around, but it wasn't like I didn't feel like I got the best guidance. You know what I mean, from him. So I got to find my own way. It's only me and my brother.
And you found your own way.
Yeah.
With the Southeast kids that came bust out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So at what age did, you start little skirmishes, but when did you start to really gravitate heavily towards that lifestyle?
Man, it was probably when I first started going to juvenile hall. It was like when I was 15. I started going to the juvenile hall and really meeting these, people from the Southeast, you know what I mean? Like, and seeing what the culture, the gang culture, because I only knew what I was, what I was told or whatever. But like, then I start actually seeing like, fights and just like who's from where and why they do this or, just like everything. And I was like, just attracted. I was infatuated.
And that was appealing to you because you're in this boring white neighborhood.
Yes.
And you love to fight. I could,
because I was good at it. I wasn't really losing.
I can attest to that.
So it's like, and it's just fun. It was exciting. That was the excitement that I was like looking for, you know what I mean? So that was when I go to the halls and I meet a couple people, and so we exchange information. So when I do go home, I go home and I hit them up. And now I'm coming down to the Southeast and we hanging out, going to their house and just like, doing what I was claiming that I was doing when I was up there. I'm now like, doing it yeah, now I'm actually like, because before I was just like, I was a wannabe. But like, that's when I realized, you know what I mean? Being in prison, I sat back and I realized like, man, I told myself that I was a gangster so much before I was even like doing anything, before I was like, officially anything. I was just telling myself like, this is what I am. And I created that lifestyle for myself. So
now obviously you're still a teenager. What are your parents thinking of my son's going down to Southeast San Diego to hang out all the time, being a little gangbanger? Or do they have no idea? What's that dynamic like?
Mom's, she didn't really know like that. She was really kind of strict on me. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't like, she didn't really know like that. She knew something was going on, but not like she used to work all the time. So I didn't really have her all in the mix like that. But, Pops, he didn't really know anything about nothing. He didn't, yeah. So, but yeah, they didn't
see nothing.
They had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, right. Nah.
By the time mom gets home, you're already home.
Yeah, pretty much.
And by the time she did know, you was already fully engrossed in this real gangster lifestyle.
Yeah, I just didn't really care like that. I was like, I'm a teenager. I was a teenager. You can't really tell me nothing. I was just going to juvenile hall for the majority of the rest of my, I was in prison or jail. I've been down majority of my life since I was 14 till recently. This is the longest I've been out. It's been this past year and a half.
So prior to that, I want to talk about something you said when you was like, I told myself I'm a gangster. And then you created that life for you, right? Because that's the power of manifestation, right? Yeah. And so I'm looking at somebody going through the same thing. One of the kids going through the same thing, trying to basically an identity crisis. Like, who am I in this world, right? And just as easily as you was able to gravitate and make yourself a gangster because you made that happen. Yeah. You made that happen. Beyond all measure, like you had every other opportunity to do something else, but you made that happen. Yeah. So is it safe to say that had you manifested greatness, like I want to be a doctor, I wanted to be, because you're very intelligent, do you think that would have happened if you would have had the right guidance?
Yeah, I feel like the right guidance, definitely the right guidance. I feel like what would have made that happen would have been just me thinking that it was cool. You know what I mean? Like being something great, like a doctor or something. If I really felt like, or if the people that I was thought was cool was thinking that was cool,
Facts.
You know what I mean? And I'll be like, oh yeah, I could do that. You know what I mean? But these things didn't really appeal to me or anybody that I was around, and that's what you mean by like guidance. So it's like if I was guided to
see
be
that thing being cool.
Yeah, I think that's really what it's all about. Nobody wants to be looked at as like, you know, it's like a weirdo.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think in this culture now it's like more things are being like that's cool. Like, you know, you got a real job. That's what's up. Like it's more
accepted.
Praised. Yes,
like
it's
you
more
have
praised.
A job.
You
That's
got
good.
goals.
Like you got goals. That's
Yeah.
good. You want to be something. That's good. And when you're a child, that wasn't the case.
People were making fun of square
you
jobs.
going to
and
work?
like, you know what I mean? Like
This nerd.
Like
Nerd.
what? That was
He's a square.
it was just being young and not realizing that's money.
That's money.
That's some bread. That's, you know, in your pocket. That you're doing something that's like keeping you out of the bullshit. So, you know.
So you said you've been getting arrested from 14 on and on and on and on, and at some point you gravitated towards one area in particular.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Skyline, you know, it was just you know, a couple homies, the first people that I really gravitated towards that accepted me. You know what I mean? When I went to juvenile hall, they seen that I was funny. You know what I mean? So they was like,
you are.
That's it. You know, they was like, I would just be goofing around. You know what I mean? Bullshitting and just like, and they could tell that I wasn't a punk. You know what I mean? I wasn't no buster. Like I was ready to fight or whatever. And like, they was just like, all right. Man, and it first started like as a little joke or whatever. Like, not a joke, but like, you know, it was an older dude, you feel me? He was like, you gonna be my little homie. I'm like, what? For sure. What's that? He started popping peas. I'm like, yeah, it's the homie. All right, I'm your little homie. You feel me? I was a little tat out. He was like, you want me tiny tat out? I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm from somewhere now. You know what I mean? Like, yep, that's right. So I started, you know, that's when it was just like, all right, this is what it is. You know what I mean? Even though that there was no weight to that name or who I was, it was like I wasn't really nobody to, because you know what I mean? But in my head I was somebody.
Acceptance and identity now.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It was, but really in all actuality, I don't really know too many people from Skyline. How the fuck am I gonna be? I never lived there, or you know, like you know what I mean? But he accepted me, so I could just be like, yep, I was with him, or he told me it was good.
Yeah.
And from there on, it was just like, you know, eventually it came to the point where it's like, I don't care who accepted me, I am this already. And it's like, now, I don't know. I just
can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, you can't even tell me. You can't.
Different. I'm official now.
Yeah.
You said before I was a wannabe. Now I've been accepted, and now I know this is what I am.
Right.
Now I'm telling you not from the set.
Exactly.
You're not from over here.
Right. And it was like, it wasn't no stopping me. And that's kind of what made me more accepted, because
you was tripping.
Yeah, because I'm tripping over you telling me, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like soft. You know what I mean? Like when it came to this, I was like passionate.
And it was one story that you told me. I want to talk about that story in the backyard at the homie's house.
Oh man!
And it was, what'd you say, like 10 people?
Oh yeah,
like 10 fades.
Man, yeah, for sure. That was
to back, and that was one thing that really, that when I heard about it,
yeah,
and it was like, yeah, that's the homie. Like you was accepted beyond all measure. Every block, every street, everywhere you go, you was accepted.
Yeah, for sure.
What was that like though? Just hearing it was like, bro, I'm not. Nah, you ain't. No.
Man, it was just like, I don't even know. It was more so because I don't know what the next man is ever really thinking like that. So, I mean, I thought it was, you know, a homie, you know what I mean, whatever. And it was a situation where he thought I had said something or whatever, and he fired me up. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. He socked me. You feel me? They say I dropped, but I don't remember. So I got up. I'm trying to fight, but this is a homie that's like really more accepted. He like you know what I mean? He like somebody. You know what I mean? He brought me around to this place with a couple other homies. So you know, it's really all of them damn near kind of like, and just me. You know what I mean? Even though I know them, but it's like they're more so, you know, his peoples. Yeah. But at the same time, like, you know, I've been around, like I wasn't a weirdo. So it's like he fired me up. That's a personal issue between us.
Why all y'all tripping on me?
Right. No, they really wasn't tripping like that. It was more so, man, we was fighting. You know what I mean? Me and the homie that had fired me up, we started fighting, and I wasn't losing. You know what I mean? They're expecting him to whoop me, and it's just like I wasn't getting whooped. So then they're like, all right, no, let me get him. You know what I mean? I got this. Or you know what I mean? So then it's like, all right, I'm not about to get beat up. Not like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care how many of them y'all are, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not finna get beat up right now. Y'all not finna, like, you know. And it was just like, you know, they didn't jump me because, like I said, I wasn't nobody. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, you know, I was respected, you know, and y'all didn't, you know, they didn't pack me out. It wasn't a pack out. So that's why I loved and respected about that. Cause it's like, regardless of whatever it was, I was still the homie. You know what I mean? I wasn't like whatever y'all thought. So that was like, that was love. Yeah, that was like love to me. So it was like, you know, especially afterwards when it was just like, all right, you did your shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you fought what it was like 10 people back.
Yeah, no, it wasn't 10. That's a
seemed like
it's like urban legend.
No.
That's how rumors start.
No, for real. No, but it was back to back. We was fighting for a good hour.
Oh wow,
for sure, like an hour. And
might as well be 10 people.
It's about like it was probably like 5 or 6. No, it was 5.
5 back to back to back. Then the other one, he wanted his run back, and he wanted his run back, and it was back to back to back. Yeah. But man, that was one story that really cemented who you were also.
Oh yeah,
and
for
it was
sure.
Like all uphill, then downhill from there. So let's talk about that downhill.
Oh yeah. You know, that's like you said, that's when you talking about it's like a legend type thing. It was kind of like, you know, everybody all of a sudden knows me that I don't even know. You know what I mean? I don't even know y'all. And y'all talking about, oh yeah, I heard about you. I'm feeling like I'm down here like I'm kind of somebody. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you heard about me? Because I don't know you. Oh yeah, for sure. That's what's up. You feel me? I'm thinking like I don't you know, I'm him. So, but I feel like that kind of went to my head. But it was like also it's like, you know, now I gotta step up. I'm stepping up now. Like I'm really somebody, and I've been feeling like I've been living this life. Now it's like, man, I'm just, you know, I'm doing my thing, you know.
But downhill,
you know,
you catch your case.
Yeah,
real case.
Yeah,
case to sit you down.
Right. You know, shooting happened. You know what I mean? It was, you know, the homies, you know, game banging shit. You know what I mean? I didn't sign for the deal, right? Okay, let me tell you the situation.
Yeah, paint the picture, because I think people need to say how crazy this case. This is so crazy. Paint this picture, man.
Okay,
don't sugarcoat it.
Paint the case and then tell us how old.
Yes.
Okay, Ben. I'm 21, fresh out of fire camp. This is after my second term. You know what I mean? I've been, like I said, I've been in and out of prison my whole life. So I'm 21, fresh out of fire camp. You know what I mean? Active. You know what I mean? Just like, you know, doing my shit. I'm with a couple homies. You know what I mean? And it was late night one night. And, you know, one thing lead to another, you know, shooting goes on. You know what I mean? It's a shooting that happens. You feel me? I'm driving. So we driving away from the scene, Ben.
Nobody get hit.
Nobody get hit.
No property is damaged.
No. Okay. Yeah. The shooting happens. Nobody got hit. Yeah, no, there was nothing. There was like no property damage or nothing. The only like the only reason that I mean we even got caught was because, you know, the police was like right around the corner, you know what I mean? And they cut us off. Yeah, so I'm driving, you know what I mean, hop out, and I get away. My two co-defendants, I have two co-defendants on my case, and they got caught right away immediately. They found the police found them, you know what I mean? They was just in the backyards. We was just hiding, you know what I mean, man. So they get locked up, and I see that their charges are what? It was only probation violation. I looked on the news to think like, okay, somebody was shot. Of course, it's gonna be on the news or something. And I look on the news, it's like, there's nothing on the news about anything that happened or nothing. So I'm like, okay, nobody got shot. No, there's no, like, you know what I mean? There's nothing on the news about it. Like, everything should be smooth. Like, you know, I'm thinking everything cool. So I go see my PO, And my PO, since my car was at the scene or whatever, like this is clearly like they of course contacted my PO, and you know what I mean. Somehow. I was involved in something, so I go see my PO thinking it's all good. I'm about to just tell her like, okay, my car or whatever. Like I was just like naive. Yeah, my car was stolen or whatever. Whatever I was gonna tell him, and then I get locked up. Right when I get locked up. My charges, that's what I'm saying.
Say, why'd they lock you up then?
My charge, I'm like, what am I going to jail for? They talking about premeditated attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and shooting in inhabited dwelling. So I'm like, okay, I understand the shooting in inhabited dwelling. Conspiracy to commit murder, like what? This is like an attempted murder? I said, there was nothing on the news saying that anybody was hit or like anybody died or anything. So I'm just like, these charges is crazy. Especially because my co-defendants didn't have that.
The gun was still in your car?
The gun was found. They had found, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but they didn't find me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all circumstantial.
You technically weren't even there that day.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but so my co-defendants, but mind you, there was only 2 shell casings left at the scene where where the shooting happened. So my 2 co-defendants and me, we all facing this premeditated attempted murder, you know what I mean, conspiracy to commit murder. And they offer us a deal for 15 years. So I'm like, me logically in my head, right? I'm like, man, 15 years when nobody was hurt. There was no victim in this crime. There was nobody who was shot, no property damage, there was no like, you know what I mean? There was nothing.
Nothing. I'm not going to jail for 15 years and nothing.
For shooting off a gun.
For shooting in the air.
Yeah.
It's
shooting in the air.
Shooting in the air. Not going down. I'm not even the one that shot.
No, right.
I'm not doing it.
So they're telling me like, yeah, they're trying to get you attempted murder and all that extra stuff. I'm like, man, I don't care about that. I'm not about to do 15 years. I just got out of prison. Like I said, I just did 4 years. I've been in and out of jail my whole life. And I was out for 2 months. And now you're about to tell me I had to sign for 15 more years of my life to not being here. That's all my 20s. I'm not trying to do my 20s. That was my main thing.
For a crime, that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not signing 15 years for attempted murder where no one was shot and no property was damaged.
Man,
no murder attempted.
No murder attempted.
There was that's why I'm like, man, I just wasn't going for it. You know, my co-defendants, they were like, I feel like they both had kids, and I feel like that might have been the fact they was trying to come home to their kids as fast as they could, and they know like I really don't even know. They just feel like they had a case. The jury was just, the DA was just gonna paint that picture. We was gonna lose or something. And I don't know. But when they heard 15, it was like, yep, run to 15, sign it. We signed it for 15, both of them. They're like, yeah, we gonna sign for the 15. So they signed for 15. I'm like, man, I'm not about to sign for 15 years just because that's how passionate I was about nobody being hurt, nobody being harmed. But I know that my family gonna be harmed. I'm gonna be harmed by doing this time. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, dang, I'm not signing for it. We're about to go to trial. And they said, like I said, it was 2 shell cases and I had 2 co-defendants. You know what I mean? So I feel like y'all could come back and be like, we shot or whatever. He didn't.
Like, because you already took a deal.
Right.
So
y'all already
come in and say,
right.
This is what happened. You're not
being
hurt by this. Come help me
out. Right. So this was my thinking. You know what I mean? Like, it was already 2 shell cases. 2 people took the blame for it. I aiding and abetting. That's like, okay, I'll go down for.
I was just the driver.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, like, I'll go down for like 6 years or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do some time. Yeah, like, something respectable.
Yeah, do some respectable time.
Y'all disrespected me with nobody with 15 years. For me, I couldn't go for it. So I took it to trial, thinking that my co-defendants was gonna come back and be able to testify for me and be like, look, man, he wasn't he wasn't the shooter. But it didn't really go down like that. We all know that the system is
and by them signing their deals, that kind of takes away your credibility, right? In the case.
Yeah, I feel like that's another thing in the judicial system that's kind of messed up. It's like they said that they can't mention that my co-defendants took 15 years. They can't mention that in the trial, but I feel like why wouldn't you? That's a big point. Why wouldn't you be able to mention that 2 people already signed for this crime?
2 shield cases. 2
I feel like
took time.
Yeah, I feel like if I had a lawyer or if I had a voice for myself and I wasn't scared, you know what I mean, in the system to speak up for myself, because I feel like anytime that you're in a court of law, you should be able to speak and say, look, this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Explain to me in the law where this, you know what I mean? Why can't they come and say this like that? You know what I mean? Or why can't, we get manhandled in, you know what I mean, in the courtrooms. You know what I mean? Look, you're gonna do this like that and this, and I'm young, like I said, and we're not really thinking that, like, this is my life, so I have the say so in my life in this courtroom. You know what I mean? And so I just, I got worked. You know what I mean? I went to trial, took it to trial, and the DA painted that picture. Oh, they were gang members on a late night creep, you know what I mean, through the enemy territory, looking for a victim, and whoop whoop, and it just like and just painted the picture that, we were killers trying to kill people, and the jury believed that picture. You know what I mean, and they found me guilty of the premeditated attempted murder and a shooting in a inhabited dwelling, but not the conspiracy. The conspiracy to commit murder, it was 1 juror out of 12 that found me not guilty, you know what I mean? So I got hung on that charge. That, it was a blessing, you know what I mean? Because had I still had that charge, I came home because laws came into effect for attempted murder.
What did they charge? What did you get sentenced to?
So what did you end up getting sentenced to?
I got sentenced to 55 years to life.
Jeez.
15
to 55 years to life. Just for a crime you didn't commit. And 2 guys taking the deal before you. Well,
and even let's say the crime was committed. No one got shot.
No
property was damaged.
55 years to life.
55 years to life.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back for 2 seconds.
Just imagine you lock all of these violent kids together. and as a kid, you're trying to impress your peers. Yeah. And then you grow up in this gang culture to where you're taught. The gang culture teaches us to be suicidal because it tells us to never deny what set we claim, even if somebody's holding a gun to us, even if it leads to us fighting or dying. The bravado, because that's what young boys do. Young boys want to be a part of something that's brave. I like to analogize it to sometimes being involved in a game. Kids, it's easier than playing football. Like, a young boy wants to be a part of something.
And we're back. So 55 to life. What's going through your mind? From 15, now you got 55 to life for fighting your case.
Man, I'm thinking, first thing, I'm like, man, everybody was like telling me I was dumb for not taking it to trial, not taking a 15 in the first place, man. 55, it's like, dang, y'all told me I was going to get banged. You know what I mean? I didn't believe it, though. You know what I mean? From the jump. Right when they said all that time, it didn't even make any sense to me. It didn't really, I never believed it. It was like, yeah, right.
Because you're 21 at the time, right?
I'm 21.
It's the rest of your life.
You told me I got the rest of my life for doing this. I didn't believe it. That's not, you could say that I got 55 years of life, but I don't have that time. You're just saying that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I never believed it.
How did your family take it?
Hard, rough, cried, tears. Mama got tears in her eyes, man. Just sis, everybody they tore down, you know what I mean? It was just like, damn, that was the worst part about it. Honestly, hearing 55 years to life and just looking back like, I couldn't. That was a part that like kind of hurt me because it's like I didn't believe it, but they
believe it.
In reality, you know what I mean? Like in the court of laws, you know, on paper, and you know they do have they have my life for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? But like I said, I was just like, I believe in a righteous God. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's not righteous.
That's not the end of my story.
Me going to prison for 55 years for this action that's not righteous. You know, and I just didn't. That's why I mean I didn't believe it, because I believe in a righteous God. He's gonna make sure that everything is gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Even if I did have to do however much time, I knew it wasn't gonna be the rest of my life.
Now, some of our guests, you know, even yesterday, are like, I've been messing up all my life. I deserved what I got. You know what I mean? Like, it was inevitable. Something was going to happen to where I was going to get more time than I deserved for all the stuff I've done that hasn't been caught.
Right.
You're on the other side like, hey, I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just didn't, you know, for that right there, no.
Not going down. So you get the 55 to life, you hit the yard. You know you're not, in your mind, in your heart, and obviously your mind and your heart was right because you're sitting right here in front of us.
Man.
But you hit the yard and you're like, man, I'm about to do this time, but not forever. What's it like when you hit the yard? 55 to life.
21 years old.
Man, hit the level 4, just, you know, I was just, like I said, I know I'm about to sit down for a minute, so I'm going to start programming. You know, I'm going to do what I got to do, you know what I mean, however I got to do it. I know I'm a YG, you know what I mean, active, you know, whatever, any situation that occurs, you know what I mean, I'm there, I'm ready. This is like, you know, this is my prime years, 21, you know what I mean, this is my early 20s, these are prime years of banging and just like, you know, building my bones pretty much, you know what I mean, and just like who I am and just like, you know, what I was representing on the yard, you know what I mean, and just being myself and growing into a man, you know what I mean, that's where.
So let me ask you this: by the time I got to you, how long had you been in prison?
Probably like 4 years. Like 4 years.
4 years, because Samuel, I keep on. You see, I hesitate because I was going to call him by his other name that we used to call each other by all the time. Yeah. But this is Samuel. You know, this is my brother Samuel right here. But man, me and Samuel used to be in the cell, and go ahead, Samuel, tell him how I used to get on your nerves, bro.
Oh yeah, man, he was cold, man. It was a love hate. It was a love hate relationship, but it was mostly love, man. It was mostly love. It was just sometimes you just got to. I don't know. I was more like laid back and just chilling. You know, what cell time come around, it's like, man, I'm chilling. Like I'm out of everybody's face. You know what I mean? But bro, he like to argue and debate. He's a debater. He's a great debater.
Some say he's debater, some say he's a bullshit.
I say he's a great debater,
he loves
man.
a good debate.
They're right. I swear, just argue for the sake of arguing, and I just be like, man, look. And he don't know when to. I'm not trying to argue with you. Sometimes I won't even say nothing back. I'll be like, yep. He'd be like, yeah, because I'll be like, I say, yeah, I agree with you.
Stop talking.
I agree with you, bro. Hey, I swear.
Leave me alone.
But no, it was cool though, man. It was all worth it, man. We whipped them rice bowls up, man. You feel me? That's all that. I was like, yep, you got that. Go ahead with that. All right, we good.
Yeah. One thing I always respected about you, and there was your hustle. You know what I mean? Look, you got me crying, laughing. You got me crying, laughing. But that's one thing I always respect, because you always had so much talent. You know, I always say people in prison, given the right set of circumstances, can do incredible things, right? Because you knew how to write. You was an incredible rapper. Like, you was great with your words. Yeah. You know, you was a hustler. You was never going to be broke. You know, like you wasn't. You was gonna make a way out of no way. And that's just one of the many things that I respected so much about you. And where did that come from?
Man, it just came from, just not wanting to ask anybody for anything or be in a position where it's like, I need somebody else. It's like, all right, I'm going to make it happen with what I have at this time. You know what I mean? Like, just to not need for nothing, and just finding a way. I don't like to depend on other people, because other people have shown me over and over again they're not really all the way dependable like that. So I was blessed. Mom's she stayed with the package. You know what I mean? She kept me with a package once a quarter. That's all I really asked ever from Moms. I really never even asked for it. She didn't let me go a quarter without a package. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right. Other than that, you know what I mean? Initially, it was like, family members would look out with like $50 here, you know what I mean, 100 there or whatever. And I'll just, try to make it happen with that and try to flip that, and get some food, make sure I had some food, you know what I mean? And, I was just
hustling, man.
Yeah.
But you did more than that, though. You made a way. You definitely made a way. But then, I talked about your skills, your rapping skills, man. Like, you're very talented, man. What are you doing with that now? Like, where did that? Have you always been a rapper? Like, growing up, was words always your tools?
Yeah, I feel like I always been a good writer, and probably like, I don't know, because of where I grew up or whatever. It was just like I would speak proper, you know what I mean? I have good vocabulary. What they say, vernacular, is that the same word? Is that the same?
Works for me. I don't know if
yeah.
Works for me.
I got the right down for real. But but then I was just like, I'm a good writer. I like to be able to express myself. Like when I sit and think about what is really on my mind, you know what I mean, and write it down on paper, I feel like that's when the most powerful words come out, you know what I mean, from me. That's what. So as of lately, I ain't gonna lie, I haven't wrote nothing since I've been home. I feel like the writing was kind of like when I was bored or when I was inspired, and I feel like I wasn't ever like I haven't really had time to really sit down. Let me say I haven't had time. I haven't made the time to sit down and be inspired by something. Since I've been home, you know what I mean? It's been a year and a half, and I've been through about like 7 jobs. I just, you know what I mean? Just recently, I just got 3 more jobs. Like, you know what I mean?
Like you said,
it's like, so it's like I haven't really made the time for myself to be like, all right, let me sit down and think about my life, or let me. I feel compelled about this subject. You know what I mean? And let me write on it. I feel like that's what I need. You know what I mean? I want to be. I feel like when I was in prison, I would be in my cell sitting down with nothing else to do.
When Will's not talking.
Yeah.
But I wasn't getting on Will's not talking.
Yeah, for sure. Everything. So it's like I don't got nothing to do except think about this situation. And sometimes I would think about the situation and just be like, man, I'm about to write on it. You know what I mean? I really just be in my head like something. Like, man, like, I don't know, just say something like, this nigga got me fucked up. And then it'll be in a beat. This nigga got me fucked up. And I'll just start like, oh no, I'll start going in. And it just that's how it happens. I'll be bored and just like really just playing around and it'll come to me, but it hasn't come to me like that. I haven't had that inspiration lately. You know what I mean?
It's funny. One of the tools of creativity and one of the best things a human can be is bored.
Yeah.
When we were kids, all our best thoughts and creations came when we were bored. And kids nowadays, when they're bored, just get on their iPad. And people are so afraid to be bored, so we distract ourselves with social media. But when you're in prison, you got nothing but time. Mm-hmm. The best creativity comes out, and I think that's a skill that is lost. Like you said, you came home, you haven't had time to do it because you're not bored anymore. So you got to make time for that, because it sounds like you have a gift and a skill.
No, for sure. Yeah. For sure. I know I do, you know what I mean? And that is something that I would love to pursue, you know what I mean? It's just, I mean,
give us something right now. Let the people hear something right now. Let the people hear something right now. So many people going to look at this and they're like, man, he got skills, but I ain't heard his skills. He talked about his skill. But what skill does he have? I ain't heard him. He ain't on SoundCloud. What's going on?
Let me think. I might got a poem for you, man. I might got a poem. Let me see. Let me think.
He's really good, y'all. I'm not lying. I'm
trying to think. You know how you get put on the spot and stuff. All right, I got one. It's like for like camaraderie. You know what I mean? Just like you know, camaraderie, you feel me, a friendship, you know what I mean, brotherhood. There you go. Boom, boom, clap. I got your back, front, side to side. Safety first, click strap. This is a janky ride. Follow if you feel me. Don't you fail me, any freezing may be fatal. I need to know you willing and you able. Know you capable of anything that I could do. You might could do it better. The shoe will never fit if you don't try it on. I know a triple double knot that never loosen. On a marathon you running, if you finish at their first, who call it losing? Effort get admired. People hired off of principle. Passion on the action, though it's difficult. Don't call it quits. Put your mind to it over matter. Matter of fact, attack it like it's done before you even start. Have heart, have money. Have respect for yourself. Have a story you can share with your kids. Have sight, have might. Full throttle, no half stepping. If you're going to do it, do the damn thing.
That's good. Now, real quick, you're not 76 years old. You went in at 21, 55 to life. What happened? How'd you get out?
Oh, man, these laws came into effect, man. You know, it was the aiding and abetting law for attempted murder. First it was murder, then it became attempted murder, and then it was premeditated attempted murder or whatever.
Was
so
that the 1437?
1437.
Murder rule. Felony murder rule.
So it's like, you know, you can't be convicted or you can't be charged like a shooter if you was, you know, aiding and abetting or whatever. So, you know, like I said, I knew I wasn't going to do that the whole time. I didn't know how it was going to happen. You know what I mean? I wasn't even really worried about it because I just knew that it wasn't going to happen. And, you know, one thing led to another, you know what I mean? And the laws came into effect.
How long did you do before these laws came into effect?
I did 8 years.
8 years.
It was 8 years. I got out on my 8th year, you know what I mean? And, man, it was a blessing, you know what I mean? Family was just loved it, you know what I mean? Support. I had, like I said, I had support from moms and all my family, you know what I mean? Sister, brother, just pops used to come visit me. So it's like they was excited. They was happy for me to come home and just like, you don't know that I didn't have life, and I was able to prove to them that I didn't. You know what I mean? I was telling them the whole time. Like, everybody that ever asked me how much time I got or how long I'm about to be in there, man, I'm finna be home in a little bit. I'm finna be home in a couple years. Whatever, a couple years for sure. Soon, I'm coming home soon. So then I finally, you know, came home. Like I said, I manifested that too. You know, I didn't know how it was gonna happen,
but you knew it was gonna happen,
right? And
then when you came home, like you said, you've been going to jail from 14 all the way up until what, 28, 29?
Yep.
Off and on to 29 years old. Got off a 55 to life sentence. Time after time after time. Who was the man that came home this time?
Man, a grown man that know that wasn't the life for me. You know what I mean? In prison, I was just over it. You know what I mean? One with a desire to do better. You know what I mean? In life, and to know that there's more to it than what I was going through. Well, you know, I learned a lot from being around people in there and everybody's life, and I just found myself in there and realized that my life didn't have to be like anybody else's. You know what I mean? I don't have to look up to anybody or like be like, oh yeah, I want to do what you do. It was like, all right, I'm doing my own thing now. Like, I'm grown. Like, you know what I mean? I'm 29. I'm a grown man. I'm about to figure life out for myself. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
It all started with that identity crisis when you were a kid. You didn't know who you were, and so we look at the trajectory of your life, and it was like, who am I? I'm not white enough. I'm not black enough. Who am I? Right. You know, like, what's going on? I need to attach to something. And then you found something to attach to, but unfortunately, what you attached to was negativity. And based on the person that I know, and I'm pretty sure the person that they see, you're not negative. You had the back of individuals who was forced to grow up in a certain way.
Right.
Right. But now that you're home, like, you found your identity.
Right.
You know, you found who you are.
Yeah.
And you seem to be at peace with that.
For sure. I became at peace with it, you know, in there when you know, when I embraced my story. Towards, you know what I mean? Like initially, you know what I mean? I would kind of like shy away from where I actually grew up, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like looked down upon or whatever. But then once I embraced like who I actually was, and I realized that like everybody else doesn't care where I grew up or whatever it was. They're looking at me as the man that I am, you know what I mean? And how I carry myself and what you see for yourself, you know? And that's when I started to really like, you know, find myself and just be like confident in who I was. And, you know, that's something that you can't really teach anybody. You know what I mean? You got to go through that yourself and just be self-aware, aware of yourself and just aware and just be confident in, you know, taking the steps that you need to be successful in life.
So I'm going to ask you a tough question. You said you found your identity. Who is Samuel?
Man, Samuel, man, I mean, I would like to say I'm a righteous man, you know what I mean, that tries to live by the standard or the code of just prospering, you know what I mean, in any and every way, you know what I mean, and just very adaptable, loving, you know what I mean. I got nothing but love for any and everybody, you know what I mean. And just genuine. I feel like, you know, it's so many ways that other people may explain me or see me. So it's like for me to answer that question, it would be only through my eyes, you know.
That's the only eyes that matter, right?
Yeah.
Self-identity is what matters, what you think of yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Because obviously what you thought of yourself as a child was, I'm a gangbanger. You know, that was your identity, right? And that manifested into going to prison.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So what's next for you, Sam? What's next, bro? Tell us what's next.
Man, what's next? I'm trying to get some stability in my life, man, you know. And like I said, I just got 3 more jobs right now.
Own place, own car.
I got my own spot right now, you know. I like you said, man, I'm always going to find a way out of nowhere, you know. So I'm looking for some stability in a job, you know what I mean? Some stable income, you know what I mean, where I'm not looking for what I'm about to do next or whatever, because I'm still looking for what I'm about to do next. What I like to do probably be an electrician, you know what I mean, something along those lines, just something stable. And man, what would be nice if I could find the inspiration, you know, to start writing again. You feel me? I would like to start writing and getting some of these thoughts down on paper. You feel me? And so
the world needs to hear your voice, bro.
Man, I know, man. I know it. Like, and it frustrates me that they don't like hear it. But it's like
you can change that.
I know.
If it frustrates you, you can change
man,
that.
For real.
Take a walk outside this evening and get inspired.
Nah, for sure, yeah. And I'll be like, I like to engage with people too. So it's like I'm not really shy. I'll walk down the street and just like, hey, what's going on? Hey, like, you're hella friendly. And it's like, man, I feel like it's all about the connections that you make and meeting people that can put you in certain situations. I feel like it's never like what you can do or how you know what I mean, how good you do it. It's like who can put you in that position to actually shine that light on you and let you shine your light. You know what I mean? So, but for the time being, like I said, I need something stable, and anything I can do to get some bread, you know what I mean, in a way where I ain't got to go to prison, or you know what I mean, or be in no bullshit, then that's what I'm gonna do.
That's what you're gonna do, man.
Yeah.
Your future is bright. Your future is extremely bright, and I'm extremely proud of you. You funny as hell. You know, I go out with him. You know, I've been out a couple of times with him. He just a life of the party. It's like, bro, look at the homie. He be having fun, and he have everybody start gravitating towards him because that's the type of person he is. People just want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? And when these people are around you, open your mouth and share your voice, bro. Share who you are, because they'll never leave once they hear it. All right. So, man, thank you for coming out.
I appreciate you as always.
Appreciate you, bro.
Man, for sure.
And where can people check you out? Was it Semantics? Man, let them know.
Oh, no, man. My Insta _ play a position.
Okay, play your position.
Yeah, play a position. You know, like play a position, but also play a position. But I'm gonna play a position like to play a position. Like underscore first though. You feel
Underscore first.
But no, man, you know, yeah, that's another. You know, it used to be semantics. Like I said, like you know, I like the wordplay. It's the wordplay.
That was a good one.
And I'm like, you know,
That was a good one. Semantics.
Yeah,
really
so you know, language. I love language.
All right.
You know,
Well, Mr. Play Your Position again. We appreciate you coming out, man. And I'm Will,
And I'm Steven.
and this is the Post P Chronicles.